Hi there, I am Marie Boer, and I'm so happy to have you here in my space today. I'm going to share my personal story with you, how I'm using the Enneagram, and how I'm especially transforming my fear into courage. I guess this is something we all want to do. And if you've been following me for a while, you would have noticed that I talk a lot about these, like, we have all these tools, but how are we going to use them? Today, I'm going to start off sharing a bit about my own journey, and then I'm going to go through all 9 types courage, like how courage looks for all 9 Enneagram types. It doesn't matter if you know about the Enneagram already or if you are brand new. I'm sure you can get something out of understanding how different our courage actually looks. And then I'm going to end showing you how I'm transforming my fear into courage. So I'm Marie Boer and I am from Denmark. I have lived in Spain now since 2 years. I am an Enneagram coach for more than 10 years. I'm also actually a human design teacher. I transformed my life. And basically, I think all transformation comes with confidence. The more confident we feel, from deep in, not just like I'm good or whatever, but like to really feel our worth, the more and easier we can transform our life and take these next levels that is continuously waiting for us. It has changed the way I'm running a business. It has changed the way I'm a mother. It has changed the way I have friendships. I mean, the honesty and the depth that I'm able to have in my friendships and in all kind of relations now, even with my son, is out of this world amazing. It's worth every single bit of the fear that I've gone through. Just that. I'm a single mom since my son was born 7 years ago. So I've been running a business and being a full-time mom. I'm even unschooling him at the moment. So it's been full on. And if you know about human design, I'm also a projector. So my energy is very intensive and I don't have a lot of it. So I hope that this can also be an inspiration of it doesn't matter who you are or what life is throwing at you, you always have an option to work around it. There is not like we are dealt different cards. We all have our own things that we struggle with or that we need to overcome and work with. But in the end of the day, it's our mindset that is choosing what we're going to do with it and how we're going to work around it. As I said, I'm unschooling and I'm co-living with another mom and her daughter. This was a big step for me to move into, and that has for sure been one of the greatest challenges I have gone through, like really showing up and been facing my fear a lot once you start living with a person that is not your partner. And you cannot hide behind love. It's like you just gonna show up to these uncomfortable conversations every single day. I'm putting some pictures so you can be entertained with that. The middle one is the business I was running in Dubai, where I lived for 10 years, where I was running some markets. I was event planning. And the last picture is Chandra and her daughter Evelyn that I'm living with now here in Spain. So 2 years ago, I got an invitation from the universe, and I like to call it my golden ticket because it felt like it is the first time that I have felt so empowered by an invitation. I have in human design, my intuition is my inner authority, which means that I'm guided by getting these messages. And that's basically what I should base all my decisions on. And I do get a lot of messages, but they're very like briefly, and they're very like, oh, you could do this or you could do that. But this time was the first time in my life that it hit me like strong. It was very clear that I have to go and find the community. I had the invitation that this is the right time. The next step is that you go find or create the community that you are longing for in your soul, that you have been dreaming about for so long. You are not finding it here, you're finding it out in the world. So I basically had to risk it all because I was already in a position living in Denmark. I had a thriving business. It was going so well. I had built everything up in Danish. I had online clients. I had live group sessions, and everything was very expensive. I had, like, for the first time, I had a really good income. I could pay myself a good salary from my own business, and I felt very successful in it. That meaning I had a luxury life. I bought whatever I wanted. I finally upgraded my whole house situation and all my furnitures. And I felt like I've really stepped into a lot of things that my soul had been longing for years. I was living in a beach house, in a castle, actually, down to the beach and with the forest in the backyard. And we were outside every day. I had the freedom to homeschool. I traveled every month. This was the time where I decided that the real freedom and luxury life for me was allowing myself to have a travel once a month. It could be like a short weekend trip to a city in Germany or something. It could be like a flight to London just to stroll around for a few days, or it could be like a proper holiday, like a week or 2 week long vacation. But every single month for a good year, I actually traveled every month with Adam, just packed up the things, and I had to risk all of that. I was very aware that this invitation I got, that I can't find what I want here. That was just, it was very clear to me. So I went all in. I was trusting this message so blindly. I felt that it was the true calling. I felt that with everything that I have built here, with the successful life that I have here, I'm missing something fundamental, and that is my tribe. I'm missing to have people around me with the same mentality. I'm missing to have people around me that are one step above me, or that are inspiring to me in the direction that I want to move into. So when I got that golden ticket invitation, it was just clear to me that I have to risk it all. I have to go all in because this is my life purpose. And it was to go out and find my tribe and raise children in the new world. I think the way I see children is very, very, very unique. I come from a background and a family of sexual abuse on children. I've not myself had anything on me, but my mom was physically cutting the line for that, and I'm grateful for that. But my cells and everything I have in me is has experienced what she went through. So it's totally my purpose to create a safe world for children. It's so meaningful. And when that whole, like, that's the whole motivation behind my work. That's the whole motivation about behind why I so desperately want to teach this, why I so desperately want to be the one holding the space where adults can move into who they need to be in order to hold that space for their children. This is the whole purpose for me, and it's strong. Even now talking about it, I feel all this purpose. It's like a lifeline. Anyways, I bought a caravan. I was thinking, okay, if I go on this journey and I need to rent Airbnb every single step, first of all, I can't plan it because I don't know where I'm going. I don't know how many days we're going to stay in each city. So, but if I have a caravan with me, I have absolute freedom. And also financially, I'm not suddenly in a summer season where everything is so expensive and where I can't rent anything and all that. So I bought a caravan, and this was despite never have been camping before in my life. I've never even been towing a caravan on my car, like, but my car did have the hook, so I was like, well, that's meant to be. And then I was super anxious actually about being alone with my kid 24/7. You can easily say that, oh, yeah, I mean, that's your kid and you know your kid. But actually, do you know your kid? Like, I felt I didn't know my kid. I mean, I know him, I knew him, but every time he would have a meltdown, I did get challenged. And I was very aware that, okay, when we go on this trip, there's no breaks for me. I mean, I can't just hand him over to my mom or my family. He won't have like kindergarten or school a few days a week, or he won't go anywhere. He would just be with me every single day. What if he gets bored? I have to deal with all his emotions. I need to deal with my own emotions. That is a big anxious feeling for me. I mean, that was a really big step. Anyways, I felt that my purpose was stronger. So I went with it and thought like I would never get that invitation if it's not because I can do it. I would never get that idea and that purpose if it's not because I can overcome it and deal with it. I restored the caravan fully because I wanted it to be so nice and cozy. And I was very aware that this is going to be our house for the next half a year, 1 year, 2 years. Who knows how long it's going to be to find the tribe. And then I drove out with zero money, zero savings, zero idea of how to make it. Yes, I was running a thriving business, but yes, I was also spending all the money that I made. So driving out also meant closing down my business. I cannot run online courses. I cannot have online clients if I'm driving half the day and the other half the day I'm making food and finding a place to sleep, being with my son, dealing with all the emotions, and especially the idea that I didn't know how to plan the day. I didn't know like what is our schedule going to look like? Is he going to sleep every day at 7 or 8? I don't know. Like maybe he will stay awake until 10. And what about my clients then? So I kept just one client that I had signed up for a longer period where the income would be just enough to keep us going. And that alone was a huge out of my comfort zone. It's like I'm basically leaving, and if my car suddenly breaks down, yeah, I'm having insurance, but I'm not having a saving. I'm not having any backup plan. My backup plan would be going back home or just getting a flight ticket and then go home and be like, okay, that was it. I didn't make it. Yeah. I think the caravan ended up being quite cute, actually. That's the last picture. All I had was trust. Trusting the universe will hold me, especially money wise. It was like, I was thinking, what if my client suddenly can't pay? Or, like how all these like worst case scenarios just run over me. And I was just like, you know what? I just have to let go of all these thoughts. I just have to believe that everything will happen as it's supposed to be. I'm holded, I'm supported. I would never get this kind of invitation if it's not because I can do it. I have to trust. What else do I have if it's not the trust? I was trusting my intuition and the invitation I've received. And I have to be honest with you, I cried almost every day. I've worried for hours, I doubt myself. Um, and I don't want to neglect this. I don't want you to sit there and think like, oh my God, this was so easy. She was so lucky. I mean, I did actually cry almost every day. I cried with Adam as well. There was a huge thing for me to overcome with the emotions. I'm a person, I'm very logical. I will get to that. I'm a type 7 in the Enneagram. I'm very positive. I'm very outgoing. I'm very logical, but I'm definitely not good in facing the issues. I am totally sneaking around and just ignoring it, hoping it will disappear. And most of the times it does. Or I would just burn bridges and then, oh, I'm out of here. So having that responsibility, looking at my son and being like, there are definitely emotions between us, and we are not, we can't escape each other. He can't get somewhere else and get it released. I'm the only one and I have to do it. That's tough. I mean, that's therapy sessions right there on my own. Um, we cried together. I think also he saw a lot of sides of me that he has not seen before, and it felt amazing. It felt like really vulnerable and very deep to kind of allow that insecurity somehow into our relationship. For him to see that I'm a human and I'm doing my best, and that I need him as well. Like, I need him to enter this teamwork. I also think we grew a lot of respect for each other, respect of different ways of doing it, respect of listening to each other. I mean, he was 5 turning 6 when we were leaving, so he wasn't that old even to put words into it. But he learned. I mean, I had to be patient. I had to be patient and just wait for him to put words into what he felt. I had to let him do it his way because I couldn't force his emotions again and again and again. Like, and even as I told you before, like me having that huge child led, like, I just have to create the space. That was so motivating for me because that was helping me facing my fear. It's like he's just this tiny little human and he's so unspoiled and he's so pure and lovable and he's just trying everything he can for me to love him. Like he's ready to hate himself to earn my love. And how I can't abuse that. Like that's my responsibility to step into whatever it takes for him to feel loved, regardless of how I'm feeling. And I think that journey itself has been life changing. It's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful journey. Anyways, the most crazy part of this journey was that I was acting 100% according to my type in the Enneagram. And that also made me confident to continue. I know the Enneagram so well. Like something I do know, I know the Enneagram. Like if I'm an expert in anything, I'm an expert in understanding different personality types. It's so crazy for me that we are so similar. It's so crazy that no matter what traumatic experience you have had, no matter where you grew up, no matter how things were, if you meet two people in the same type, they're acting so similar. It's like their survival instincts, their need of being seen and loved is so similar. And I was acting exactly as my type 7 as well. I could just observe how I tried to walk around me and Adam's uncomfortable conversations. I could see how I was trying to convince myself when I doubt myself. I could see how I tried to turn all the negative into positive instead of just allowing me to have a good cry out and saying life sucks. And that doesn't mean I have to go home. That just means that there is also a space for just feeling sorry for myself. So that definitely made me confident to be like, okay, everything is as it's supposed to be, and it's written right here. And if I do this and this and that, and if I just follow how I'm transforming my fear, then I will succeed. Then it will actually end up working. I love sharing my knowledge and creating a safe space where my clients can explore their own way into freedom as I'm creating for myself. I'm very aware that we are so different. We all want freedom. And I think a big mistake in the world right now is that one person has succeeded with something. Like I have succeeded with this kind of thing, like with this journey that I'm sharing with you now. And then I would go on and share that to everyone. Oh, do as I did. When you face this situation, then do that. But this is according to my type 7. So it won't work for the type 9 or the type 2 or the type 4 sitting in the other end listening. So we all want the same. We want freedom. We want freedom to be ourselves. It's a powerful feeling. If you're truly free in your personality or as a human, there's nothing from outside that can disturb you. There's nobody or no situation from outside that can come and knock you over because you know what's happening. That is freedom. You know your own patterns and you know what to do in these pressure situations. That's freedom. And this is the safe space. I love creating that safe space where you can explore these things and you can go trial and error without being judged, with actually not me being like, oh no, you're doing it wrong. You're supposed to do like this. But more like it's just not to judge. We're all on the journey exactly where we're supposed to be. And if we're not here to try, what are we here to do? I mean, we need to try. We need to be curious, and we need to have courage. We need to use our courage to just try. And we need our courage to go through the fear that we are having inside. But we can't do that if we don't know it. We cannot do that if we don't have a safe space to try it out, to get to know this part of ourselves. So, a bit about my journey from fear to courage. As I said, I'm a type 7. My fear is being trapped in anything where I would suffer. And in each type, we have our fear, individual fear, and they're very different. But when I say suffer, and if you're not a type 7, you would probably be like, oh, suffer, that's like torture, that's suffering. For me, and this is how I say, like, all our fears has layers, but when we don't, like, each type's fear, we feel like that does not have layers. It's just like suffering for me is everything from being trapped in a conversation or having a tough time, like dealing with something that any other type would be like, oh, but that's not suffering, that's just like, that's just life, you will just go ahead and do that. And this is where we totally judge each other. And this is where we don't leave a space for each other, because then we start comparing ourselves. So when you also know the fear of other people, it's so much easier for you to understand that, okay, they're black and white in that point. They don't see the same layers as I'm seeing because it's not my fear. So I'm actually curious to go into it and feel how it feels. But the moment it's just touching 1% of something uncomfortable, I'm, as a type 7, would go straight into that suffering. I don't want it. That's leading to suffering. I'm out of here. And that would be like unknown emotions, like, oh my God, I don't know how you're going to react in this. So I better just not even go into the conversation, because what if you suddenly like want a discussion with me and I don't know, and then because I don't know and I want this to stop, I'm just like eating you alive, or I'm throwing a bomb, or being passive aggressive to back off. Or it could be like, I remembered I had this boyfriend once, and I would seriously cry myself to sleep. I mean, I would cry myself to sleep with my back to him so he didn't notice, rather than just telling him like I'm not happy, or I have this in my heart, or I got sad at that point, or this upsets me or something, because I was so scared of getting into a conversation. This is the the level of our fear. This is like the moment we just go in a direction that would activate our fear, and for type 7 to suffer or be so uncomfortable that it's like feels like suffering, then we're out of there. And my emotional self knowledge was so freaking tiny. It's like my knowledge of that would be so little because I've never explored anything. Imagine every time there's like trying to explore something, it's like, oh, no, 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 I'm not going there. And I had no idea what was going on. I didn't even know it was unhealthy. I wanted to just be free and happy. And this is the instant gratification that we keep doing to avoid our fear. It's like, oh, I just want to be happy and free. So why even go into that conversation, convincing myself that you don't need to do that fear work? Just go this direction and everything is great. That leading me to burning bridges. You can imagine how many bridges I've burned, like how many relationships and friendships I've lost over the year, over my life, because I didn't dare to have a conversation. I was just out of there. I even just deleted people and left. And that is a lonely ride. Um, that is a lonely ride, and it made me abuse my superpower to create short-term freedom. So we all have a superpower. I'm not going to get a lot into the Enneagram here because the topic is to change into courage. Um, But we all have an individual superpower, and my superpower as a type 7 is to find solution, but solutions to real freedom. But I didn't understand that because I didn't want to face my fear, I end up abusing my superpower to find solutions, to all the time be on the move and find a new solution to all these short-term freedom. But in the long term, I got the complete opposite. I was suffering. I created my own fear by not understanding that this, because I don't dare to go into my fear, and I then subconsciously abuse my superpower to create these short-term happiness days, then I actually end up creating a life where I'm suffering, where I'm not going anywhere, where I'm alone, where I don't have real deep friends. And we all do that in the Enneagram. Like, according to our own type, we do that differently. Then what happened was I got married to a type 4. And again, if you don't know about the Enneagram, don't worry, I'm going to tell you here. But those of you who knows type 4, or if you are type 4, you would know they are amazing at holding space for all emotions. Type 4 are here on earth to just lead us all in experiencing these emotions. It's a very, very sensitive, feminine, deep personality. So I met this amazing Arabic guy, and he was so calm within his emotions. Like, he had a lot of emotions, but he was okay with him having these emotions, where my circle was so tiny little. Like, I did not know anything about emotions. I was just like, neat. The fact that I was holding space for him and I was curious. I was really curious because I was just watching him like, oh my God, like, what's going on here? You're a firework day and night. And that's kind of amazing, but it's also kind of scary. So I knew he wouldn't leave me. He was in love, like, we were madly in love. So I felt safe in that point. And I knew I could never reach his emotional limits. So if you imagine my little tiny space, and then he's like huge space for emotions. And I knew, like, no matter how crazy I go outside of my comfort zone, I will never reach his limits. And I actually remember that the first time I met my own anger, and I'm sure he would just laugh at me and be like, whoa, that was not anger. We were in the kitchen and I was actually angry at him. And then he's just looking at me and he's asking, like, oh, he's not, he just hands me a plate and he's like, try throw this. And I was like, what? Are you insane? Then I need to clean it up after. And he was like, stop thinking. You're angry, smash something, like, get that anger out. So I just took that plate and I was like, I just had it up, like, and screamed and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, what am I entering here? Like, this is so freeing. It was the first time in my life. And you can just imagine this was on a daily limit, like on a daily basis and without limits. Like, I would just be experiencing all these like mood swings and being the drama queen and being like the woman on hormones, like on the period month or whatever. And suddenly I was just on this roller coaster and it was crazy and it was so relieving. And I could just feel how my personality grew. I could feel how I slowly got to understand the uncomforted diving down there and getting to know myself when my fear got activated. So I slowly began to experience how suffering was actually just emotional discomfort. I slowly started to learn the layers. And by staying in it, I could see that, okay, there are layers of how suffering is experienced. There are layers of these emotional things. And the more I dare to experience and express my emotions, the less out of control I get, because I don't react on my fear by doing something crazy or explode or just like wanting it to stop. I actually stayed in it and I tried to communicate in it. And that made me grow my confidence that, oh my God, I can stay still here in the storm and just observe myself. I don't have to answer straight away. So there is no suffering in a conversation, because if someone is saying something, I don't have to reply. I don't have to fear anything. I have actually access to myself and my brain and my logic and my emotions in this emotional discomfort. So I realized my fear is overly sensitive and comes from my survival brain. It's activated in our survival brain, which is the life and death. Like, oh, I'm in a savanna and I'm seeing a lion, I need to run. And that I dare to actually keep myself present instead of just going with that instinct. And this is like responding instead of reacting. This is how we work with the fear. It's like we need to slowly learn how to respond instead of react. And that is by being present in it slowly. My fear of suffering, which I found mostly in commitments and hard things, got transformed into deep commitment for long-term out of this world freedom. So we ended up being divorced. We're best friends today, which is a whole other presentation I would love to share, like how to move in, because that's fear related as well. But 100% he held the safe space for me to explore these things and to be curious, to use courage and not just react on my fear. So I got to understand all these things. This is the courage chart of all of the 9 Enneagram types. What you need to do to fulfill your purpose. So for type 1 is to challenge the world systems. For type 2, it's step forward to create real connections, like with people in between, one-on-one, to create that real connection. The courage is to dare to step forward. For number 3 is to get the team to the finish line, to dare to actually wait for the team or be a leader, to lead the whole team into the finish line. For number 4, it's to have courage to share their own emotions and inner world, to dare to be different and show how we are all different and how our own inner world are really different. Number 5 is to actually go ahead and share the knowledge, to co-work. So it's both to share and it's also to allow co-working projects to come up. That will change the world as well. This is the revolution. Number 6 is to trust the team to co-create. Again, it's a teamwork. Trust the team. Trust that they actually have high standards. They know about what they're doing. And when you co-create with people, you can actually change the systems. So it's courage for you to trust them. For number 7, which I've gone in depth with here, it's commit deeply to small things. The bigger picture. It's very much to use courage into to daring to be discomfort, to feel discomfort a little tiny short time, to have the bigger freedom in the long run. For number 8 is to be corporate to change the world. This is very much like to see how we can move big systems. It's like, how can we organize ourselves? How can we step into our professionalism to change the world? And for number 9 is share to facilitate teamwork. The courage for type 9 is to step out and share what they actually see is going on, to gather all the different people and create a unit, like the world, unite the world. I hope this makes a little bit of sense. There's a lot of depths into this, and it involves the fear, it involves this transformation. But I hope that at least in your own type, if you know it, or if you can feel that one of them is more lightening of your system than the other. That you can still feel that, oh yeah, I feel deeply that this is my purpose. This is something that I can actually do. And what is standing in the way here is your fear. It's for you to truly work into, like, only by integrating that last 20% of your fear, you can move into the leadership to actually do this. And this is the courage that you get and you grow from working with your fear and understanding who you are with your fear activated. It may seem a little bit overwhelming, but remember, we don't have to know it all. We just have to be curious and try. And we need each other. Who is your tribe? Like, where do you belong to? Where do you feel this safe space? Do you have people around you? Are you in a relationship where you actually can have these kind of conversations? Like, we need to just strive into this, like, as long as I'm just going straight, I'm not changing the world, and I'm of no inspiration. Like, we need each other, and we need the respect and space from each other so we can grow into our leadership, because we are different and we have such different purpose on this earth. And only when we give each other the space and respect to understand that, we can actually understand ourselves to grow into the leadership of that. That's a process. It's a constant process. So I'll wrap all this up with telling you where I am today. I'm, as I said, living in Spain by the beach with another mom and her daughter, same age as my son. I totally nailed it. I feel like I totally nailed it. I was sitting in Denmark with this vision. It's not even 2 years. I mean, it's like in September, it's 2 years, and it's only April now. I got it. Like, we moved into this house in January. It took me 6 months. It took me 3 months to find the right city. The first city I stopped at in Spain was the city. And I was like, hold on, that's going a little bit too fast. I mean, I gotta visit other places to have something to compare with. But I already found it. Like, even if I went on, I ended up going back because this was the place. Another, like, few weeks after, on my journey to look out for the places, I found Chandra. And we didn't have anything to do with each other there. But 4 months later, when I've settled into this town where we're living, she called me up and she was like, it's so weird. We don't know each other, but I just feel like I just want to hang out with you. We have something. And I was like, come. I have this place now. Just, I have space. And she stayed. Like, how crazy is that? It's like 6 months down the road. I'm at the right city. I'm finding the co-family that I want to live with. And her daughter is 4 months older than my son. It's like they're having a sibling. They're having a twin out of the blue. It's like the whole community was here. It was just right here at our doorstep. There was already 6 families meeting, and that next half a year, when we then lived here, more families came. We 15 families more, even coming every day, creating the unschooling environment, creating the tribe that I was looking for. What are the odds? That's so crazy. Everything is aligned. Everything can go so fast when we dare to clear ourselves free of all these waves and chaotic feelings. And when we are clear on who we are and what we're here for, and we're clear of, it's like, how do I just dare to stand still and just feel this uncomfort? Because this is where I can pass through fastest. And this is where manifestation happens so fast. It was not even a year later, and we got this huge beach house. This was my last dream when I got the golden ticket. It was like, I just want to live at the beach. I just want to live walking distance to the beach. So every day I can go there, I can get hot. I'm totally a beach girl. I love being in my bikini, wake up, put the bikini on, and just live at the beach and just have the freedom with the kids to play in the sand and feel grounded and be by the big ocean. And here we are, like, with a rent that was out of this world cheap so we could afford it. And I still don't know why. I mean, we have a huge house. We have a 6-bedroom house here. Like, what? How is these things happening? It's like we are actually seeing the invitations and we're daring to say yes to them, regardless of not knowing how is this going to happen, what's going to happen next. I don't have a saving. How can I say yes to a house? Like everything is just so aligned when we dare to just go with it. And I want the same for you. If you're ready, I want the same for you. I would love to be that one holding the space for you, guiding you to experience the same things, regardless what your dream is. There's always a step more. Yeah, I'm having daily conversations about money, emotions, motherhood, our relation, work, anything. I would never have thought this about myself. Like 10 years ago, as I told you, I cried myself to sleep with a boyfriend. I mean, how can I not just talk to him about how I feel? And today I still feel it. I still feel uncomfortable. Sometimes I still shake all over my body because I'm so uncomfortable and my fear is so active. And yet it's like, I just know that I have to continue. I just know that it's okay. I'm safe here. And then I'm going into the conversation. At the moment, I'm working on expanding my money flow without working more hours. I have so much to share. It's also an interesting journey. It's like I'm a projector in human design. How am I going to expand my business by respecting my tiny little energy that I'm having? What does it look for me? Like, how do I show up every day just being authentic and honest to myself? And I don't take decisions to avoid my fear. That's the only guidance that I have to check in with every single day. Is this decision true for me? Or is it a decision I take because I don't want to confront my fear? Anyways, that's all I have for you. If you want more inspiration, you're more than welcome to follow me on Instagram, Marie Boer. And if you want to work with me, I have different things so we can find out what works best for you. Send me an email or just send me a direct message on Instagram. So that's all I have. Thank you so much for keeping the space and thank you so much for listening to my story.